Welcome to Family Basics 101. I'm Dr. Bruce McClure, and as we continue our 5-part series entitled Matters That Really Matter, today we will talk about marital abuse because it really matters. Marital abuse involves two major approaches, and those are verbal and physical. Everything else that happens relating to marital abuse is in some form or derivative from verbal and from physical abuse. Intimidation is a form of either verbal or physical abuse. Humiliation is a form of some type verbal or physical abuse. Physical injury is specifically a physical abuse. Financial deprivation is a form of verbal abuse or the deprivation of access to resources. Abuse by threatening to harm or to take away children is again a form of that intimidation through verbal abuse. And we could go on through the abuse wheel, and you will see every form of abuse is a derivative in some shape, form, or fashion, or of verbal and physical abuse. In a marital relationship, there should be no abuse of that nature. In marital abuse, when you look at the 1960s compared to 2009, 91% of children in 1960 were living in dual-parent homes, with only 9% living with a single parent. Compared to 2009, only 73% of children were living in homes with dual parents, but 27% in 2009 were now living in a home with one parent. Marital abuse can also be described as the deprivation of marriage, the refusal to marry, the refusal to raise a child in a dual-parent home, the refusal to honor that child by saying, as parents, we're going to honor the development of this child because the two of us were involved in making the child, and the two of us are going to now honor and raise the child together in a loving domicile, in a nurturing domicile, in a home that says to this child, you are wanted, you are appreciated, and you are valued. And whenever that is taken away, the child will almost inevitably suffer some type prolonged consequence emotionally about that scar. Traits of marital abuse are not as easy to identify as one may think it is. Sometimes we think that the abuse in marriage is just crystal clear, but it's really not. Here's some startling statistics that may or may not surprise you. Many abusers, especially the male abusers and also the female abusers, are quite charismatic and they're quite charming individuals. And most people outside the home would never suspect that these individuals are now in a marriage and they are the abusers within the marriage. For some unknown reason, these abusers are oftentimes more physically attractive and they appear to be polite in the public. Secondly, they are extremely jealous inside the marriage. It's driven by an inward hate that the spouse is getting or possibly could get more attention than the person who is the abuser in the marriage feel they should, because the abuser in a marriage, in their mind, always conclude that all attention should be directed toward them. Number 3, marital abusers are really trying to control. At all times, there's a feeling that they must control and be a dominant person over the spouse, regardless of how small the matter might be. It's a control. I want to control your thinking. I want to control your feelings. I want to control your emotions. I want to control your friends. I want to control your job. I want to control you. And when that person exits into the work arena or into the social or public arenas, because there's such a superficial relationship, other people do not suspect this individual as a marital abuser. 4th, they are very, very deceptive. Almost without exception, marital abusers are imposters. They're fake. They do not know what the word love really means, and they cannot, in a wholesome manner, love anyone. Their love is self-love, which is really not a healthy love, only for themselves. Number 5, marital abusers are extremely arrogant individuals. Marital abusers are lifted up with pride. They are haughty. They are false in their presentations. They laugh at people. They have no real bond relationship with anyone. These marital abusers will never take responsibility for their slanderous attacks, nor for their relentless ridicule of their spouses. Any words, acts, or appearances of remorse that the marital abuser tries to show in the relationship are not to be trusted, because it is only a matter of time before they recoil and repeat their abusive behaviors all over again. Marital abuse is very, very prominent in the world today. What are some of the attributes, very quickly, of marital abusers? They don't mind humiliating you. They don't mind verbally abusing you. They don't mind threatening you or doing physical harm to you. They have a family history of abuse. Without exception, they have a poor self-image, but it is masked by their arrogant demeanor. They will blame you, the spouse, for their outbursts, for their violence. They can move from being cold or hot emotionally in seconds. It's like turning and turning off a spigot. They will not tolerate any injustices that appear to be directed toward them. Yet they are relentless in their attacks toward you, the spouse. In the book of 1 Peter chapter 3, verse number 1, the Bible says, "Likewise, ye wives, be in subjection to your own husbands, that if any obey not the word, they also may without the word be won by your conversation as a wife." And then in verse number 7 of 1 Peter 3, it says, "Likewise, you husbands, dwell with your wife according to knowledge, giving honor unto the wife as unto the weaker vessel, and being heirs together of the grace of life, that your prayers be not hindered." Marital abuse has no place in a wholesome, godly relationship. I'll see you back in class again next time. Don't be late, and don't skip class.